Hello. Thank you for the thumbs up. I am happy to come to you today, but I also have some information I want to share about the program. And those who are on the wait list, y'all already have some information in your inboxes. If you are and you didn't check your inbox. But I'll go over some things. So I try to give some valuable information, hopefully allow some opportunity for you to ask any questions. And I want to share a little bit of information about a program and what we have going on, including the enrollment dates, the boot camp. We have dates for everything right now, and I want to let you know. So if you'd like to be a part of our community. Okay, so let me know if you are in the Facebook group. Let me know if you're in the community, who you are. I show your comments. Watching from Canada. Hey. Hey. Tosha, our champion coach, one of our coaches, doing a great job, getting some good feedback on the coaching. Hi, Leland, North Carolina. All right. So I'm wanting to do this topic because this is something that I think, especially because I get comments, I get questions all the time. Hi, Diane from New York. And things that can correct any microloc. So y'all may have heard me talk about even how we define microlocs or ideal methods, but now we know it is inevitable that there are people that have a variety of issues that they would like to correct or refine or repair. And there's some top things that I want to make sure that I mention that can be done to correct any of that started in any method. And I'm pretty transparent now about some methods that I don't recommend because of the higher potential for the problems that we are going to talk about correcting now. So if that is something that you're interested, will this live be saved? Yep, absolutely. The lives stay up in our Facebook group, and when I'm streaming on YouTube, then they'll be up on YouTube. Sometimes they come up later. The Facebook group will always most likely always have the lives up, unless it's like a special sneak peek, like we did for the boot camp. We did a day one, and I kept it up for a limited time, but I will let you know in advance. So you can come back to this live. I know it's in the middle of the day, towards the end of the day, but I wanted to just start off with mentioning, hi Marla in Detroit, that get to my slide. These are visuals are just background supporting our. But have you ever had an experience where you needed some correction, you needed some work done on your hair, where maybe it was hair coming out, maybe as I was telling IG before I went live, right after I had COVID and I was restoring, I went like this, and a whole lot came off, and I was like, oh man. There was many reasons for that, in addition to me being sick. But have you had an experience where you might have been doing that and a lot came out, or you had some other issue that you wanted to correct? And what issue is it that you want to correct? So I'm going to make sure that I touch on those issues. I want to touch in general about how we go about correcting them. So I'm Jessica, CEO of Naturally Beautiful Hair Care, Microloc Mastery, providing microlocs for 15 years. And when I was doing microlocs, a large part of my work was doing repair and refinement at that time of sister locks, but also just of now locks in general, reattachment, repair, and refinement. And there were some common things that I've always consistently seen. This loose hair, number one, it was loose hair coming out of sometimes some people's hair when they needed things corrected. Thinning areas on a lock. It was another big issue, and lock reattachment was a huge issue, which I talk about prompted me to create a reattachment method, which have been evolved into what we have as Microloc Mastery extensions, but reattachment and all those things. But I'm going to talk about some things you can simply do to correct it. So let me get into, I don't see anybody dropping any comments about anything they need to correct it. Hey, what's good, One Lock Diva and IG? I'm not seeing it. All right, let's get into this repair and grooming. One of the top things that can whip any lock into shape. proper repair. Grooming is kind of should be, secondary. There's a difference between the two. I expound on them further in our training. But when it comes to um, correcting ox, there are things that you can do that are simple. That are simple. I don't know what your issues are. Y'all not dropping the comments in. So hello, hello. Hey, welcome. Um, I don't hear anybody. It's quiet. Let's talk about one of these issues that I hear a lot. Again, the loose hair. Okay, holes. There we go. That's a big one. We actually have a specific module in our program to talk about holes, but I'm gonna tell you really quick. Repairing these holes, no matter the method. Can anyone, extra credit, can anyone drop in the comments the methods that I say create the most holes potentially? Hopefully, this should be a easy one. Thinning is one. If you can tell me which one creates the most holes, my Microloc thin in the middle, yeah, it can be fixed. I have lost a few due to illness. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's very common. I as well. Okay, so closing up these holes. Y'all remember the picture that I showed you? I'm just gonna cue it up. So holes is one of the ones. And remember what I talked about the method that does that? Oh, this is a good point you made. Doing a rotation, going the same rotation twice, absolutely. But even when the foundation is started, a lot of times started with a 2-strand twist method. That is holes galore because it is one big space in between with the 5 fibers. I'll call hair 5 strands of hair are essentially lumped together and wrapped around. And so it is a natural kind of hole forming thing, or unraveling thing. But when we come to what the holes look like, I've shown it all the time. So first and foremost, I always say just start your foundation with the method that is ideal, right? That's going to be less likely, but it could still happen no matter what. And when you have, like you said, going through a rotation twice, leaving a space, and a lot of times I found that that happened when people were attempting to repair. So I would get transfer clients and there would be these spaces and they would say, I would look like the person was trying to close the hole up and they just kept going through and going through and going through. Now, that's not always going to create a hole going through the rotation twice. You have to be specific about it because but I would say in general, it's because of how the hairs are not allowed. They're not allowed to cross over. So you're just kind of creating a space that's just getting bigger and bigger. And someone sees it along the lock and they're trying to do a repair and maybe they're not as skilled. There's a way that you have to go in and actually repair that. When we talk about tools, I talk about tools that I think are specifically more ideal for repair as well. Before I even start this, is I'm going to queue up um, that TikTok that has a lot of these pictures on it that I'm looking for separately. It's a video I'm going to show you. You might have already seen it. So I've been seeing a lot of people asking or looking to start their microlocs and methods and techniques that aren't ideal. And a lot of these methods and techniques came or largely originated out of the DIY or amateur communities. These are people who perhaps didn't have access to the education, weren't formally trained, possibly wanted to save themselves some money, wanted to do it on their own, and were not necessarily proficient in how the locks were evolving, how they would evolve, what the end results would be. So now there's been a lot of problems and a lot of repair that people have needed to do. And you can look at the picture behind me and you can see some of the potential problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that people are asking for that are problematic. And we're going to take a look at them. And then I'm going to tell you what you need to watch out for so that you don't waste any money, that you save your time, that you get those results that you desire, and that you have the beautiful and fabulous hair that you truly deserve. Now let's get into the first. You may have heard me talk about curly ends on microlocs, and this is an example of what could happen. You see the bunching, you see all that fatness at the end and them skinny roots. Let's go a little bit closer and look at her roots. super skinny. It's not something that I would recommend for her hair texture, her looser curl hair texture. That size is extremely small and microscopic. The ends of her locks swelled out to match her natural curl. So it got very fat. And not only is it not aesthetically look pleasing, it becomes structurally damaging. As you're trying to rip a fat end through a skinny hole, it's like me trying to fit in a size 2 jeans. It's not going to work. So let's get into the next. One of the fan favorites, Two Strand Twist, does this potentially. That hole right there it's a split. It's a hole. A hole is not something that we want in our locks, especially our micro locks. This client came into one of our pros asking for a retightening on her roots and ended up needing a ton of work to match it. It's not an ideal shortcut to try to think you can interlock a roots and leave the ends doing something different. The techniques we're using to repair match the techniques we use to install. Let's look at the next one. Braids. This is a particularly poor job, but the way that the grid is going to be huge. But look at all the ends that come out at the end of a braid. Interlocking roots, having a braid, and then whatever's going on at the end, it's not going to be consistent. Let me show you what I had to do. I had to close up those ends with the same exact technique I used to start, and I recommend people start. So save yourself time and money and start it the right way. So I show braids, I show twist. This is on my TikTok page, 3 TikTok pages, but you can go to the Microloc's TikTok page, Microloc Mastery Training, or Jessica NBHC, Microloc Mastery, to see that whole video, but I will tell you anyway, right? So the first thing I was sharing with you about how to correct any lock is repair and grooming. And the second point I want to share with you, right? So repair and grooming should be able to get anything, but it might not. It might not get that severe advanced level repair. There's also additionally something I want to show you, and that is when it comes to the tools. Use the proper tools for the proper job. There are some tools, and I go over tool usage and tool types more thoroughly in the training, but those who know that there are 2 major categories of tools. Doesn't matter the brand, the look, how many people have tweaked what to what. There are essentially 2 functions that they do, and we go over that. One, we'll have people tend to use like a crochet hook, latch hook, moving parts, or something that resembles that. And try as you might, and over the 15 years of me providing the service, I've noticed a difference between a certain tool that falls in that category and the tool that falls in the other category, which don't have moving parts, which kind of like you thread your hair through like a sewing needle. So I have terminology for that that we go over in the course, and exactly how the functions of that. But to feel like the tension is off, and I can pretty much eyeball and see. I used to distribute for a popular hair locking tool, uh, about 2011, for about maybe 5 years or so. As I was promoting Microlocs, I would drop it in the car. I shipped it all over the world, and it's a tool that actually still to this day use. But I wanted to amend and tweak certain elements of it to make it more efficient for repair and grooming. I noticed that I don't know how, to what extent really refined repair can be done with the other tool type, with the latch hooks, the long tools that you have to insert, or just really long tools in general. I feel that a more refined tool will get that repair job done and closer to the ends of the hair, where the problems tend to be more. You tend to, as far as loose hair, bunchy ends, like I was showing y'all in the video, and I do have the still pictures that I can show you. Y'all following me? All right. So let me get to the third type in a moment. But are there any questions about so far? Any particular, if you have, now's the time, if you have any particular questions about a particular issue that you want it corrected, or you found that needed correction in the past, drop it in the comments and let me know. I'm going off the experience of what I've dealt with. I'm also just scrolling here so I can manually show you some of these pictures. Okay, so let me show you that one picture again. Okay. What's this comment mean? I feel to reattach micro locks hard. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Oh, you feel that to reattach it is hard. If you do it on a high quality level, it's not hard. It's just refinement and skill. So it takes like knowing a few areas, knowing how to anchor that reattachment properly so that it's seamless and doesn't come loose, understanding how even the type of hair you use. I made the mistake so other people wouldn't have to. Over 15 years. I made the mistakes. And I know for a fact that it depends on the type of hair quality as well that will keep it attached, and also the method that's being done. We're not, if you want it to be realistic, you're not doing methods that are going to be temporary like faux locks. You're going to have to up level it, and you're going to have to make sure that the methods you use are going to resemble that person's natural locks as much as possible, natural hair, what hair does naturally in a locking process, because that person's hair inevitably is going to grow out. Even if they're going to cut the extensions off, you still should want it to look seamless, unless they really want it. They don't care about, you don't care about that, and you just want it to have length as one thing, but there's still problems when I corrected. We're gonna have extension video photos on here to show you some ways that you can use it to rehab and repair as well. But this is one of the pictures I was talking about in the video. Um, so what did I do to this to correct it? So remember the first step, the first number one I told you was repair and grooming, and under that will become closing up holes, smoothing out puffy areas, and locking loose hair. I don't I'm so I have spoke to someone who knew who saw someone really like do this whole process for years with these curly ends. And I don't know about y'all, gotta get bigger. I didn't want to be that big, whatever. I didn't want to get locks to be doing the same routine for my loose hair. Plus, it's two separate routines from, so if these are all loose and this is locked, and now I got loose hair that I'm putting product to detangle. Tell me if this makes sense. Okay. I'm sorry. I just gotta be real. And I want to keep this locking as smooth and evenly as possible while putting product and stuff. Tell me how. Even here's another thing I would look for. I haven't looked at the video. I don't want to. I probably would be very annoyed. But where that hair stops locking and starts to loose, I guarantee you, with all that product and all the routine they're doing, that is working its way up. Or it cannot just, I don't know, the type of attention someone has to do. And then, so let's say you go swimming or it's humid, or now you have afro ends, and you have to go do your process again to get them to be that. It just has me say, why? For a permanent style, is that something that makes sense? Um, I don't know. I don't know why. I told you I try not to be a therapist all the time. I try not to be, but it's just such a part of what drives a lot of the um things that I say and have to address. I continuously see the problems for, and I also went through it. I had to really embrace locks for myself and really embrace this process to really have the results that I wanted. I had to have the patience. I had to have the know-how, the skill, the help, the support. And that actually is my third point that I want to go over. That so that you can repair any lock if you have a professional, even for your own hair, to go to. So even if you're very skilled, very trained, um, there's some areas where I might need, when in the past when my loctician was still practicing, I would say, can you just go through my hair and make sure that it is doing what it's supposed to do, et cetera, et cetera. Hold on, let me get the third point: ongoing support. Ongoing support. a professional who can tell you from years of experience uh, how you can correct that, how you can address that, your maintenance routines that could prevent that, etc. I have more. I'm gonna remove this slide for a moment because I have more slides to show y'all really quickly. So I gotta back this up a little bit. I see y'all went quiet on me. What is? Oh, y'all, there's a deer. There's deer in my backyard. Do y'all see it in the camera? See them walking? I was like, what are those? I hear some rustling behind me, and it's like a family of deer. So, um, I want to show you. Okay. Okay. So y'all said y'all heard that TikTok already. Now, are there any questions or comments? I'm going to take this off. When it comes to extensions, here's why I know some people use that method to correct locks and why I need to take caution with that. So this is an extension client done from scratch. When there are locks that are very puffy, like we saw in the previous slide, and you try, this is what I've seen done, I don't recommend either. Adding hair, wrapping it over, trying to tighten up the lock with that hair, with extension hair, and just creating more big bulk. You don't that's not a viable way to correct. But extensions can be done in a way that's corrective and restorative for locks. So if there's braids or two-strand twist, really puffy, even just puffy interwoven locks, um, when you are using something like extension, you don't just go in and just cover it. You actually have to know these techniques to get those locks in a great position and then know how to do the extending and the other work. So again, we talked about the tool type, we talked about repair and grooming and what you should do. And then we're talking about getting the ongoing support. This is the extension, but it's designed to blend in really well. And when she first installed the extensions, the ends of her hair were lighter, just naturally from the sun. But her hair, it still blends in. It actually adds dimension if you see a slight color variation in it. I believe that was a number 4 we used. I don't remember. Actually, it looks like number 4, but it looks very brown. So this is a progression a year out of extending existing locks. So this foundation was already here. She had locks here already. And then she came to me when her hair was about 3 inches. Yeah. And we extended it. Hair, there's significant patches of hair. I am just going down the lock into it so that she can have a proper extension, utilizing the techniques that we use for extension. Okay, those are really the 3 main areas that I wanted to mention. There's just some other ways that you can have advanced level correction and repair. Had very thin, stringy locks. You might have seen her hair a lot of my ads now. She also, I keep her identity a little bit secret, but she had cancer basically and thin hair. And so what we did, this is all her hair. This is not extension. This is all her hair. The things that I tell you, I don't say it in vain. I don't say it without showing proof that you can thicken up and strengthen your own hair naturally, and you can correct sparseness or thinning at the roots by your routine, by your methods, by your maintenance, by what repair and grooming you're doing. She's had some grooming done. She's had minor repair done in the areas that were weak. And because she doesn't use a lot of products, she doesn't clog her pores, She doesn't go OD with things. Her hair was able to come in and fill in um properly. So her hair was like a quarter of that volume. Very, very, very stringy when she started her locks. So at that point, I believe this is 4 years in this video. About Yeah, I think about 4 or 5 years. And the texture, even with her hair is pretty healthy. She had pretty thick density. I don't say pretty thick density, but it was a good a normal amount. It was pretty healthy. As her curl is activating, even on colored ends that are a little bit looser, what I needed to pay attention to with her going forward is that I had to make sure those ends didn't get out of hand. We're never neglecting the ends. It's right after her install. So I ended up transferring her because I closed down my Brooklyn spot after COVID and I got COVID. And she just tagged me yesterday in her update of 3 years. So if you want to check the tags on our IG page, you'll see her progress. Can y'all remember, who can drop in the comments some of the ways to correct microlocs that we just talked about? I want to go over this video you probably have already seen, but the point needs to be reiterated, especially with all the plethora of, please be all be mindful of trainings. There's fundamentals and things that you should not be paying your hard-earned money to learn how to do when it comes to the needs of correction down the line. Down the line. Not install is beautiful. Install is beautiful for a little while. We're talking about 15 years, 10 years, 5 years down the line. And so I was like, let me show a visual of how these lock methods react, even very early on, and the differences between them. And I can elaborate on that a little bit more after we listen to the video. And that's very related to when we talk about correcting any lock, because you're gonna get, if you are handling locks, you might get some of these things in. It's good to know even why the problem is happening. You know what to be tuned into. Okay. So I kind of explained it a little better in the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the video. For many, 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 many years, I've been talking about strong, refined locks that have a really strong foundation. I've been talking about problems with lock methods. But what I want to do today is show you putting these lock methods to the test. I'm demonstrating 3, and you will get to see the beginnings of what I talk about when I talk about how they evolve. I'm going to show you the pictures first. You see in this picture, there are 3 ways. On your left is the interwoven. In the middle is the braid. And to the far right is a 2-strand twist. I use the same exact amount of hair in each section as if I was doing a foundation. You can already see right from the install size the differences, with the 2-strand twist being the largest, the middle braid being widest, it's flattened, and the interwoven being skinnier. Do you see all the space that is in between, that's starting to come out already of the 2-strand twist? The space that's there. And then you can see the braid is much tighter, but it also has, in its pattern, has the space in it flattened. And then you see on the left the interlock. What I did was, I did a light wash like I would do any new install. First of all, I'm wondering how much that is actually being done, because the first wash is actually crucial to the installation. I don't see it being done sometimes. So that doesn't give you an accurate look when you just have a 2-strand twist dry, braid dry, or even interwoven lock dry. You actually are not going to still get a realistic look until you activate that curl. Because you stretched out the curl, it's in a style. So after a light wash, let's look at what they look like. So already you can see the differences in the two stances right away. That changed the most. And in the middle is the braid, and the left is the interwoven lock. We're talking about the fundamental structure. This is dried, is that I see spaces in the braid as well, and the loosening that sometimes happens at the bottom of the braid. The unraveling can start from the bottom sometimes, and also sometimes these spaces, because it's flat, I could turn it that way it's skinny, I could turn it that way it's wide. The holes in there, it becomes a big project if we're going to close it all up. And the interwoven lock, yes, that could happen as well, but it's designed to lock cylindrically. Where's the pattern? The pattern in the twist is very weak. It's easy for me to just stick my finger in and unravel. If you wanted it smaller, more refined, and you started in another method, it could potentially be the method that you used to start. You can watch these videos in entirety on the YouTube channel. Actually, you can watch the extended version of that video on the YouTube. The YouTube is exactly, well, it says Jessica. Yeah, what you see here on the bottom of the screen, you can type that or Jessica Marshall, but type in Jessica, CEO Microloc Mastery or Microloc Mastery. You can see those videos in entirety. But I threw them in just extra information. The reason why I put that in there again is because if you don't want to get into a whole bunch of correction, if correction and spending time is not something that you really want to invest in, or you want to maximize your investment, there are a couple of things that I definitely think you should do first. But if you already did and you already started this well, you're noticing some things, then you now know, hopefully you know some things that you could do to help smooth and strengthen. It is about strength when it comes to small locks. That's why there are some things that are recommended and not recommended. It's not a debate about telling someone they're doing something wrong when there are standards maybe someone didn't know about. But when it gets into the lock realm, it is really good to know when it's on this size about what is going to keep it strong and keep it viable and keep it pretty durable. And I say pretty, but just aesthetically looking like how you would like for it to look for as long as possible. So that's why the basis of this. But correcting locks can be done. I know some people, I can even see like, okay, I can see where some things can be done without them having to take down that whole set. You want to find a skilled loctician who, even in our basic program, um, know how to do the majority of things that the repair methods to correct. You will find them on the Microloc directory, and you'll be able to find in your area in different places. We're adding more functionality to the site, but I would say go to someone who knows how to properly refine and repair, and that's going to correct 99% of your issues. If you have locks that are hanging by threads, that's a little more advanced repair. Because even if it has spaces and bunches, just closing it up is not going to give it much strength. So you might need to get into the advanced repair technique. So that is something that I wanted to go over. And lastly, I just want to go over really quickly what we have going on for free, for paid, for members. I'm going to let y'all know about the wait list and the enrollment that is happening right now. Wait list. If you're on the wait list, check your email. There is something very exciting. But our public enrollment will open on the 1st. I want to make sure people know that we have a Microloc boot camp, 9/11 to the 15th. It's every day. Mondays at 7 is the group coaching. The Microloc boot camp is 5 days at 7 p.m. Public enrollment starts anytime when you enroll. 24/7 access, all supplies, our exclusive tools, the tool type that I talk about and recommend and we break down. We even break it down in our boot camp, but we definitely break it down here. You have the tool shipped, lifetime access support. If you enroll, free boot camp, workshops, trainings we've done already. How to stand out in a saturated market. Pricing right? So knowing industry standard pricing for the skills that you are learning in this training. I always have to say that because I don't think that pricing should be the same if someone doesn't know how to correct, refine, or repair, or do a lot of things that are necessary for strong locks. And if they're actually implementing and putting in installations where it's going to be problematic, you definitely don't want to be paying the same for, you want to be able to pay for the quality and make sure your money is going and maximized. We also have business supports and grants. Yes, business support with a business builder and our documents. Our service policies are going to be um they're in there, but we have like I don't know how many documents in there for you to just use right away. And then we give grants and we have a program for people who are becoming trainers and location site trainers. You have to go through our program obviously, if you're going to train on our program. And then we have live group coaching that's free for members starting on the 18th. These all take place in our off social media community in our Microloc Mastery community. But if y'all want me to show y'all what that looks like, I can. If you have any questions about anything, oops, let me remove that. Welcome to the people who've joined. Welcome, welcome. And also, if you are in California, I will hope to see you September 9th and 10th, but I'll be there a few days before and a few days after. So I'm looking to connect with some of our certified pros there. We have certified pros in California. We have new enrolled students in California. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. And a newly enrolled student, she's in what part of California are you in? You just enrolled. Yeah, I just love to see it because a lot of us are moms or we're Black women, and y'all let me get on my soapbox about how much I feel we need to be supportive. I think we need to check. Here's what Spirit telling me. Should I say it? Spirit is telling me to say this. We need to check our energy towards each other and how empowered we feel. We have so much gifts and talents, and we are so much power when we join forces and help each other. So I don't know why I just felt the need to say that. There's more power in us working together and celebrating each other. And all I ever really wanted to do was give information about Microlocs. Before I even made Microloc Mastery, whatever, I used to just get and do free videos. And the reason why I'm still talking about it 15 years later is because there's a passion, but I want to help people. And it's just another level. But I know there's skepticism when it comes to taking money, or it comes to all these people all of a sudden now being gurus and having these trainings. Just all these things that just popped up. But it's like never lose the purpose of us wanting. I want to see another woman win. I was able to sustain my life when I couldn't get a job, even with an Ivy League degree. I always have to say that. And that is why I'm going and doing these free lives and making them look messy. And I don't even care. At this point, it's like, I care, but if you get value and information from what I'm saying, that's great. And if the information is helpful, thank you. And thank you to those who show appreciation and those who've shown appreciation and grown and enhanced their business and skills. You It comes back. It's like it's that energy you put out, it comes back, and I feel it, and I feel all of that. But I know sometimes people get a little touchy, or you got information that's confusing. I can't tell you my information is solid, and you would have to experience that, or you have to feel that for yourself. You have to feel like you want the results. You have to feel like, and it's sometimes that it doesn't click. And so I can't tell you, hey, take my training, because it is the official, like, you find what suits you. I know that it's exhausting, and other locticians know when they really have a good heart and they're really in to do this for really great results, they put the energy in, that we get exhausted trying to fix a lot of stuff and correct stuff, or hearing people's stories about, man, I'm experiencing that right now. I didn't know, or I trusted that loctician. I don't like to show people's names, but I get messages like that on a regular basis, and all I could say is, I'm sorry you went through that experience, but I'm here for you. Our team is here for you. Even if you get free information, even if that's all you could ever do is just get free info, I hope that it is helpful for you. Obviously, I can't give you the full free training for free. I also have a child, and I also invest a lot of money into my platforms, and you know I would be sometimes very close to living on the street even now, like, so I want to make sure we all can live We all have thriving hair. We all have thriving lives. We're happier with our hair. When your hair is good, you're good. When you feel beautiful, life feels better for us. And that was the driving force. When you have information, information is power. You won't be bamboozled. You'll be like, you could see right through. I can see right through some things. And I'm like, man, but that could be convincing if someone didn't know. Because that does look good right now. Or wow, the bells and the whistles are distracting me. But look at the problems that happen. Ooh, oh man. Like no, not many people are going to share that side, especially if they're trying to get if money or whatever it is. They're not going to say, "Oh, this is the real problem." When you start it this way. So obviously prevention is always the thing I say is the best thing to do to prevent, but sometimes things happen even with the very best laid foundations and life happens. So arming yourself with education and skills and knowledge is where I'm coming from. My information can be messy. I think it tests the people who are really determined for the info. Because the people that end up here, it's like the motivation is like high. It's like good people we have I mean, there's good people everywhere, but I think we have some great people in our program, and they not even just in our program, even in the free stuff, I can see that they are the patience. And when you feel like it's something that is helpful and beneficial, if you've done your research and you've done your research for years, not just like a couple of years, but you're like, oh, wait a minute. And you're like, okay, here's the key. Another thing I always tell you, do you see long-term pictures of those things that are like when it comes to the methods I broke down? Or if you're picking a professional or a trainer, what's the receipts? What's the long-term history of that? Can you find it? Can you find it? Can you see that is the progress, the process, the quality, like ongoing? Um, yeah, that's just one thing that is helpful. But even if that's not there, there's some key things that I've hopefully shared with you that you can use to arm yourself with. It's just watching other people's mistakes. You say if you learn from someone else, that's the best kind of way to avoid a mistake, is kind of learning the experiences of others. But if you need to touch the fire to know it's hot, it's okay. It's all right. I just want you to know you don't have to settle for results that don't look exactly how you want. So most of the time your hair can be fixed and corrected. Most of the time. Um um there is, I think, almost every issue I can think of, we have a solution that we can provide. Um Even the woman with the half bald head. I'm gonna show. I'm gonna schedule another workshop to go over some of those advanced repair extension techniques. That was my first kind of really advanced. A half bald. She had at least a little hair here, and we created something. And no, it wasn't laces because this was 2010. There wasn't a lace thing I was doing. It was something else that didn't involve glue. That created her to have locks all the way, all that full coverage, in a secure way as her hair was healing. There's so many things that we can do. Just put our mind into a solution focused, as opposed to either giving up or trying to do something for a quick in the moment. Think longevity and think solution focus, and that'll help really frame how you can approach getting really great results. Um, Thank you, Diane. Listen, I start off messy, and the gems are usually in the end of the video sometimes, because I'll pick up my speed and I'm like, all right. Spirit, it speaks to me. I always say spirits, but it does. She, universe, it speaks to me, and I get messages, and I just say I want to share that with y'all about what I'm hearing and feeling. Um, because at the end of the day, this is impactful, life-changing work. When people, yeah, it doesn't seem like it because it seems like it's hair, but that's kind of the thing that we've been told living here in this society. It's just hair. It's never been just hair. Y'all, in the next upcoming weeks, I will be sharing something with y'all. A couple of things. But hair has been so monumental in our indigenous, but no matter where you're from, if you have melanin, right? Even if you don't. And so it can be life changing on multiple levels. That's why we built solid, strong relationships with our hairdressers and our barbers. It's not by coincidence. It's not just because there is a connection and relationship. So when I know, when I get really upset, when y'all see me like upset, it's because I felt like someone has mismanaged that responsibility and that honor to grace someone's hair. And they've allowed capitalism to jump in and be like, just get that money, jump on the fad, get that money, get that money. I don't, don't think about long term what's going to really be sustainable for you and your community and the people you service. But let's just do something that's going to look cute in a moment for a lot of likes on a social media platform that could disappear tomorrow. Likes don't equal anything but likes. They usually don't equal money. So that's why I stopped tripping about if I don't have as many followers, if I know the information is quality and it turns into whatever. But I'm getting on my soapbox because I just spirit it kind of got through me. But it's saying, okay, let's wrap it up. It's 5 o'clock. Y'all have to leave. Hopefully y'all leaving work or you are finishing your work for the day. You can unwind. If you're on the wait list or if you're not, get on the wait list for a special. We always give the wait list prime things. And we will be starting our boot camp soon on the 11th and our group coaching certification on the 18th. We go week by week by week through the course, right? We go through the course together. You log in. If you go to Microloc Master, you already log in. We already have portals. So I have a few things on my dashboard because I am the one that created this whole thing. So I have like everything on my dashboard, but every product, even if you're in the boot camp, you're gonna get a login. You're gonna join in, and when you join in, you have your modules and everything lined up. You also click on our community here, and you go right to our Microloc Masters community. Wait a minute, I don't see it on here. This is the back end. So we meet here for everyone in the whole entire program can meet here. But we do have some course specific meetings where we will meet in our own individual courses. We have circles. So we have a certification, we have a service pricing, we have a boot camp circle. And this is where people post questions. These are my announcements here, but sometimes people will submit for certification in here as well, which is fine. We do have a process of how you do it in here. We can talk to each other. We can like each other's stuff. We can video. You are never not going to be. You can even direct message anyone you want. You can go live. That's what I kind of like because here I feel like I'm talking to y'all and I can't see, I can't hear. But when we are together in our community, we can unmute and show video. We can show our mannequin. We can show our work. Yay! Welcome, Diane. Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you guys sing your name a lot. Oh yeah, we spoke on the phone. Wait, or you spoke to one of my team members. You spoke to one of the team members yesterday. You spoke to Frida. Yay. Welcome, welcome. When we queue up the boot camp, here the thing is the boot camp is time limited because I might just add y'all back to it, but we keep your access for a period of time. So some people have uploaded homework. Where's the homework? Oh, there's some comments that people have added. So you can always just know how to join. I love the pictures of the handwritten. I think you're writing it during class and then you just upload it after. Yeah, we talked about making your own moisturizers. We talked about products. So that was like towards the end. We talk about maintenance. So we have a day of every topic. Janice, it was so nice to be have her here. She joined as well. She's doing a great job. And so something I wanted to show. Oh, I wanted to go back to the meetup page just to show you some of the topics of the boot camp, and then we'll close out. Just kind of prepping y'all. There will be an early bird promotion discount for the boot camp. You will get workbooks. So every day, like we've had day one preparation, and we talked about the tools. We broke it all down. The boot camp is really good addition to the course, or a standalone, but it's not our certification. But most people say this is still very, very helpful. And if they're ever ready to get certified, you already have an incentive and a foot in the door with us from having gone through the boot camp. We already know that you understand a lot of the standards. You'll know our methods. You'll learn a Microloc mastery method. You'll learn about what it takes to master the perfect installation methods, maintenance tips, do's and don'ts. We actually go really in, and I pull a lot of information from the course in here, but the course has just a little more info. But a lot of times it's great to just be in a group and talk about it, and then we talk about growth and flourishing, and this is where you also learn about the program as well. So we we'll have these new dates up, and then when you're ready, you just click into the live room. We go live. It won't let me do it. Why am I doing it? Oh, I am live. I could do that on stream. I did not mean to do that. But they'll all be notified. Let me leave. I don't know. That is basically it. So as people join, right, they can just unmute and say, hey, these are some of our recordings of some of our groups in the main area. And we also have, when you are in the course, sneak peek. Hope it's not trade secrets in here. You have Jalopers group coaching recordings right here. So there's 70 lessons so far, and step-by-step instructions and tool usage and things like that. So these where you can always go in and find a recording if you missed it. We had an awesome group. We talk about what you go through the steps. So this is the group coaching that comes free for you. You don't have to participate in it. But if you do, I feel like you get that push. You get this group experience. These wonderful ladies who, I mean, it's a really great experience. You can always go back and watch everything. And you'll get your listing on the directory. So like, I'm looking for someone who could color my hair. Who colors? I'll click color, because I actually do want to color my hair. Yeah, no, I'm going to document that process for y'all. Specializes in it. And I can click here and can find out who does that. Oh, Javon. Now we're going to just tweak this because we want you to be able to see clearly that Javon's in Maryland. We want you to see clearly what Tiara is. That she just needs to add a little bit more to her profile. Lithia Springs, I believe, is Georgia, but I mean, you could just easily click on it and find where that is. I see Tosha also does coloring. So I can say, oh, is there anybody near me? And if people can be on you, and then you'll have passive advertising. You can kind of cut a little bit off of your advertising budget, or if you don't really have one yet. And so I do the features and everything. Yep. So she's in Georgia. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I want to know what her Instagram looks like. Boom, I can go here and collect. And then it's like, well, you may want to check out the Lock Artistry or Jessica. I don't know. I'm not really taking services. And I have inbox messages. I can, if I ever want to message a person, you can send it here. You can leave a review. There's so much you can do. You can find her hours. And yes, you can even call her right now. If you're on your phone, you just click that. It dials her number. Okay, so that being said, okay. You did speak to Frida. Yes, I'm excited you're here as well. We are going to be working on my next agenda is tweaking this to enhance it, to make it better. This was our beta that we rolled out in about end of 2020. I started really showing and promoting it, but now I want to have more functionality so that you can hopefully do more and cut having to find so many different things to do what you need to do, basically. And I'll leave it there. We're going to take some of these tabs off. But even if you're just here and you want to know how to get training, you can always click there. Some people, we're going to tweak this. Some people have been adding listings. You have to be a certified pro to be on our directory, because again, in a way for me to feel like people we're making a positive impact in this industry of quality pros, we want to make sure that we can say for sure, we can say what they're going to be using, what they're doing. They're not going to give you a head full of braids or twists and you're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. And you don't want to be surprised or getting extensions in a certain way that aren't going to be what you're looking for or ideal. Okay. But I'm really excited for, it's one of the things I could close with is a testimony from one of our students in Rochester, in upstate New York. I think it's Rochester, and how at the time we did the interview, she was expanding, and she is extremely popular in her area and growing and doing great work. And yeah, I just love to see it.
I think I'm probably up to about 20 Microloc clients at this point. Honestly, doing 1 or 2 installs every month. It seems. I'm located in the Hudson Valley, Poughkeepsie, New York, and I provide really a wide range of locking services. So anywhere from traditional locks, lock extensions, instant locks, and also Microlocs. I am a Microloc Mastery affiliate. Definitely just a wonderful method. Gives a really good foundation, and I'm seeing my clients' locks flourish. I have a little lock envy personally, but no, people are just really liberated and they're like, why didn't I do this sooner? I'm really honored to have been a part of your program, Jessica, and to have the skill set, that I was able to hone and be able to serve my clients. Shortly after opening my salon, I had an interest in just offering smaller locks as a service, but I wanted to make sure that I had the skill set and the expertise to do so in a way that would serve my clients well. And so I did some research, and it led me to Microloc Mastery. And so I was able to take the certification in the comfort of my home, which was really another benefit too, to be able to just do it on my own time and at home virtually, and just really well structured. The modules were easy to follow. And in addition to the instruction, right, that's on the platform, there was also input from other classmates who were going through the program at the same time. And so it was just really, I think, interactive, but well organized. My one-to-one call with you, because I felt like that really cemented everything for me, Up until then, like I had a pretty good gauge that, okay, I was progressing well, right? And I'm sure that you were looking at all the submissions and stuff that we were having to, produce along the way. But once I had the call with you and you're like, oh, this looks good. And so it was kind of a reaffirming, if you will. I have a pretty large, relatively large and consistent and growing client base. Like, I'm type A, so I need to know that, I have the training and the expertise behind anything that I'm doing, just to ensure that I'm doing what's best for my client. Just having gone through this course and having the expertise and that confidence that I am utilizing the best technique, that gives me a lot of comfort, but also it instills trust in my clients. I'm actually about to expand. Definitely worth the investment.